Today I want to talk about learning and how I've adapted my daily routine to use AI tools and continue learning and studying to stay relevant in an AI led world. So, going back like 3 years ago, I guess, when I still used to program a lot and write the code myself, I was very much a hands on learner. So I would be spinning up a project every other week with the intent of not really finishing it, but exploring a new programming language or framework I wanted to learn, or maybe I'd just read a book on design patterns that had some really cool information and I wanted to apply it. That was the way that worked for me to get information to really stick, was to do practical exercises like building a website or working with databases and getting hands on and writing the code myself, right? And that has pretty much worked for me for the last 8 years prior to AI becoming prevalent on the scene. And I feel like that approach is really what I'm comfortable with. And it's hard because in the last 2 years or so, I feel like that approach has been less and less effective at learning the technology I need to know to stay relevant as a software engineer in an AI led world, right? So recently I've been doing some thinking on how I can adapt my workflow to make use of these AI tools and continue studying and continue learning in an effective way. And that's, I guess, where I'm at today. I've been spending the last month or so working with a new process that's less hands-on and I guess more back to the basics, like studying, writing stuff out by hand, and learning by repetition, a lot of reading, and realistically, I guess that's the direction I think learning is going to have to go, because to stay relevant in an AI world, you still need to know the fundamentals of software engineering to be effective, I think. Like certain skills like software architecture, or knowing like when and where to use certain design patterns, knowing like the implications something can have on performance. All of these are still very important skills you need to know, even in a world where you're curating the AI and you're not really writing the code yourself. You're still in a position where you'll probably be doing reviews or having some kind of impetus on the final output of like what the AI generates. You need to know how the structure of the code impacts scalability long term, or like if you want to make sure your software system is extendable for like different use cases. Like all of these things that you need to consider all fall back to like fundamentals, and like how you learn those fundamentals I think has fundamentally changed, which for me has been the challenge, because I feel like for the last 2 years or so, the less code I'm writing, the more not rusty, but there's a certain amount of degradation on, like, let's say, handwritten capability, right? So if you're writing the code yourself, you're staying fresh on syntax and all this kind of stuff. So like using maybe C sharp as an example, the way I stay fresh on syntax is by writing it myself, by seeing keywords, all this stuff. When you're hands-on and practical, there's certain lessons you learn with that approach. So how do you stay relevant if you're not actually writing the code yourself? Naturally, there should be a level of software degradation on your skill set. So that's kind of a problem I've been trying to solve recently. And the workflow I've actually adapted is quite useful for me personally. So that's what I'd like to show off a bit. So let me actually jump into a program I built, and I can show you, I guess, the workflow I've been using lately to make sure that I don't really have holes or gaps in my software engineering skill set, and that I'm always kind of learning new things. So this is a subset of a habit tracking app which I'm building with Claude, and this functionality here is just like flashcards effectively. And what it does is it will have a bunch of pre-seeded questions. So in this case, I've got 2,000 questions which were generated by Claude to focus on senior or principal level software engineering fundamentals, covering a bunch of different topics like security, design patterns, a bunch of different languages, back-end stuff, front-end stuff, TypeScript, like, I don't know, like just a bunch of software engineering things which I'm interested in staying relevant within. And then it will present those questions here, and you'll be prompted to choose out of a multiple choice option, or you can just say not sure. And as part of the habit tracking integration, I do basically mandatory 10 of these a day. So what this is good at doing is surfacing a bunch of unknown unknowns. So basically, if I know I don't know something, it's kind of like a known unknown, right? Like I know I don't know that piece of information. Let's say I'm rusty with Docker or K8s. I haven't used that technology for a while, and I know that I'm rusty. I know I need to learn more. It's something that I can go to the websites, read up a bunch of documentation, and learn more. Maybe start building things with those tools, or maybe prompt Claude to give me a bit of a summarization of that technology and their use case, right? They are known unknowns. But the thing that kind of gives me imposter syndrome or makes me more inclined to want to learn are the unknown unknowns, right? Because they're things which I don't know that I don't know. And this kind of setup here with this tool is really good at surfacing those unknown unknowns and helping me just learn a lot of little things along the way. And I'm a firm believer of like every day, if you're doing a little bit to improve in the long term, you're going to be a lot better for it, right? Like it's just good to keep like a structure of like slow improvement. Kind of like building a house, right? Each of the little bricks that you lay isn't going to make much of a difference, but they kind of set the foundation for the structure of the house. So that's the same philosophy I have for like learning things. So this flashcard structure, where if I'm getting a question wrong or two question wrongs a day, and I'm learning those answers to those questions, then it's like I'm going to be smarter for it, and I'm going to know more about like software engineering fundamentals or language concepts or syntax or whatever it is, the topics that I'm trying to learn more about. And so how I go about learning when I don't know something now is if I get a question wrong, incorrect, let's say here, incorrect, I will maybe Google search the answer and just read a bunch of documentation on that day, or even better, I might go to Claude and ask Claude to give me a more succinct answer to that question. Because the thing I like about Claude actually, or like any agent would do this, but is it'll give me the answer. I can read like the summary of why the answer is valid or true, and then I can continue the conversation. So I can then say, okay, so explain to me what one HTTP 1.0 cache is, and then it will just continue giving me more information and things that I can learn more about. So it's not as kind of bottlenecked as Google. Like Google is a very focused response. If you go onto like a website that has an answer on a forum or something, you're kind of getting the answer and then the information stops. So the thing I like about this is I can have a conversation with the agent about things which I don't know and just continue leading it on to like reinforce the learning in a way. And what I tend to do now, my approach to learning now that I'm less practical, like I'm less hands-on, which is, I guess, the way that I'm best at learning, is I tend to try to learn by repetition. So what I'll do is I'll go through this conversation, I'll read everything, and that information sticks for the day, but then, ask me that same question next week and I would have forgotten it. So my approach now tends to be, I want to reread this. Like I'll try to reread this paragraph or this conversation that's in my chat history with Claude maybe 2 days from now. And then maybe 2 days, 3 days from that, 2 days from now, I'll read it again. And another bonus to that process of like repetition and trying to commit this information to memory is I'll also sometimes take notes. So if it's something that I'm really struggling to grasp or I really want to commit to memory, I've got this notepad which I'll write things down on, and it's kind of stuff that I want to be more pragmatic about. It's kind of that, return to traditional study approach where writing things down, your brain just tends to make it stick a little bit more. So yeah, that's been my approach so far to learning these like little unknown unknowns. And I kind of mix this in every day with, I guess, more focused learning on specific topics or specific technologies which I want to use. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.